This course about justice begins with a simple but disturbing story. Imagine you are driving a trolley car moving at 60 miles per hour. Ahead on the track, 5 workers are standing and working. You try to stop the trolley, but the brakes fail. You know with certainty that if the trolley continues straight, all 5 workers will die. Just before impact, you notice a side track to the right. On that track, there is only 1 worker. Your steering wheel still works, meaning you can turn the trolley away from the 5 and toward the single worker, sacrificing 1 life to save 5. Most people immediately believe turning the trolley is the correct choice. Their reasoning is simple. Saving 5 lives is better than saving 1. The idea feels practical and morally reasonable. But then the situation changes. This time, you are no longer the driver. Instead, you are standing on a bridge overlooking the track while the same runaway trolley heads toward 5 workers. Beside you stands a very large man leaning over the bridge. If you push him onto the track, his body will stop the trolley, saving the 5 workers, though he himself will die. Suddenly, most people refuse. Even those who supported sacrificing 1 person in the first situation now hesitate. Why does it feel different? In both cases, 1 person dies to save 5. Yet pushing someone with your own hands feels morally worse than pulling a lever. Some argued the difference lies in direct action. In the first case, death feels indirect, almost accidental. In the second, you personally become the killer. Others argued that both situations still involve a conscious decision about who lives and who dies, meaning the moral difference may not be as clear as it first appears. From these examples, 2 major forms of moral reasoning emerge. The first is consequentialism, the belief that morality depends on outcomes. If an action creates the greatest good for the greatest number, then it is morally correct. The second is categorical morality, the belief that certain actions are inherently wrong regardless of the consequences. According to this view, intentionally killing an innocent person remains wrong even if doing so saves many others. The discussion becomes even more intense when the examples move from trolley cars to medicine. Imagine you are a doctor in an emergency room with 6 injured patients. 5 have moderate injuries and can be saved quickly, while 1 patient is critically injured and would require all of your time and attention. If you focus on the 1 severely injured patient, the other 5 will die. Most people choose to save the 5. Again, numbers seem to matter. But then another scenario appears. This time, you are a transplant surgeon with 5 dying patients who each need different organs to survive. 1 needs a heart, another a kidney, another a liver, and so on. Nearby, a perfectly healthy man has come into the hospital for a routine checkup. If you secretly kill him and remove his organs, you could save all 5 patients. Almost everyone rejects this idea immediately. Even though the result is still 5 lives saved at the cost of 1. It now feels horrifying and deeply immoral. This reveals something important about human morality. People do not judge actions based only on results. They also care about the nature of the act itself. Killing an innocent person intentionally feels fundamentally wrong, no matter how beneficial the outcome may be. The lecture then introduces a real historical case from 19th century England known as the Queen versus Dudley and Stevens. 4 sailors were stranded at sea after their ship sank. For days they survived with almost no food or water. Eventually, one of them, a 17-year-old cabin boy named Richard Parker, became weak and sick after drinking seawater. Believing rescue would not come in time, the captain decided the boy should be killed so the others could feed on his body and survive. The captain stabbed the boy to death, and for several days the remaining sailors ate his flesh and drank his blood until they were rescued. When they returned to England, they were arrested and placed on trial. Their defense was necessity. They argued that sacrificing 1 life to save 3 others was justified under such desperate circumstances. The audience was deeply divided over the sailors' actions. Some believed the men did what they had to do in order to survive. After nearly 20 days without food, desperation had pushed them beyond ordinary morality. Others argued that murder remains murder, regardless of circumstances. They believed no human being has the right to decide whose life is more valuable. Some people suggested that the situation might have been morally acceptable if the cabin boy had consented to sacrifice himself. Others proposed a lottery, where all 4 sailors would agree beforehand that 1 person might die to save the rest. According to this argument, fairness, and consent could make the act more morally understandable. But even then, many people still felt uncomfortable. They argued that true consent cannot exist under such extreme pressure and fear. Others believed cannibalism and murder are categorically wrong no matter what situation people face. The discussion revealed how difficult moral philosophy truly is. Every answer seems to create another question. The lecture eventually turns toward philosophers like Jeremy Bentham and Immanuel Kant. Bentham defended utilitarianism, the idea that the right action is whatever creates the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. Kant, however, argued that morality is not about consequences alone. Certain actions violate human dignity and are wrong in themselves, regardless of the outcome. In the end, the purpose of philosophy is not simply to provide comfortable answers. It is to challenge the assumptions we already live by. Philosophy forces ordinary beliefs to become strange and uncertain. Once people begin questioning their own moral instincts, they can never completely return to the comfort of simple certainty again. The story of justice, morality, sacrifice, and human reasoning ultimately becomes a story about ourselves, about what kind of people we are and what kind of people we choose to become.